So I spent a few months in between episodes of Camera because the big wars revolving around the Lollard faith have kind of, well, ground to a halt because, well, no one can get to that capital. I mean, there are several people trying, like 50,000 Inti forces, but they're just gonna get absolutely destroyed by the big Lollard host, and they have nowhere to run, which means they're gonna get stack wiped. And therefore, the Lollards are probably not gonna give up too many things. They will definitely lose to the Cathars, that's for sure, because they have a lot of points, a lot of war score from occupations, probably enough to, you know, at least get some provinces. But to the rest of the nations, I doubt that they're really going to have to give up anything. But we shall see. Other than that, we have some news. The Sikh and Mahayana have decided to declare war on the Hindu. Well, basically, it's just the Sikh and the Mahayana have decided to help them out. I guess, you know, the Mahayana are going to get 2 provinces out of it, whereas the Sikh want to exert their dominance over India. For a long time, it looked as if the Hindu would be the most dominant power in India, but they have been defeated. They have been stopped before they became too powerful by the Sikh and the Theravada, not to mention. But they then came back and have ever since kind of been just lurking about, and now it looks as though the Sikh, with you know, the backing of their powerful ally, the Shinto, they have nothing to fear, so they can go all in and defeat the Hindu. The Vajrayani have already been defeated, and the Zunists, well, no one really knows what they're doing, so it's really between these 2 giants, and the Sikh are pushing in, as you can see, winning quite well. So the Nestorians are still in their war against the Copts, and they have, well, they have the war goal Antioch under their control, which is giving them some war score. And of course, the Copts are busy fighting the revolutionaries here. But overall, as you can see, the Nestorians don't really have a chance against the Copts. So despite them being reduced in size, they're still a very powerful nation. So, you know, they're not to be underestimated. Other than that, we obviously have a big war that has just popped out. The Slavs and Suomenusko together decided to declare war on the Iconoclasts. And this time, the Fraticelli broke their alliance. And that is really big news, because that means the Fraticelli are completely isolated. No friends. Not the Lollards, not the Bogomilists, not the Iconoclasts. They are up for grabs if anyone, any 2 nations, like the Norse and the Cathars together, or the Cathars and Waldensians, I'm pretty sure they would be able to defeat the Fraticelli and stop them from winning this series. I mean, right now, we can actually see that the Shinto have more development combined with their subject development of California and Alaska. And I would say that since the Shinto have such a great grip, such a firm grip over their colonial nations, we should certainly count that development to them, because it's the same religion, and as I said, you know, it's their vassals. Had they colonized somewhere else instead of the Americas, that you know, these provinces would be directly under their control and would count towards their score as well. So as of right now, the Shinto would win, but the Fraticelli are a close second. So close, in fact, that I would probably give this up to vote. And I would probably also include the Cathars here, because they're all above 1,500. And with the Cathars likewise, of course, they have a lot of colonial nations too, in fact. But since they have such a strong grip over them, I feel like it's only, you know, it's only just to give them the development as well. And since it's only half of the subject's development, you know what? They're actually better than the Fraticelli as well. So, we'll have to see. It's not yet the last episode, so still things can change. But it looks as if it's gonna be between these 3 nations, Cathar, Fraticelli, and Shinto, of who is gonna come out on top. But yeah, so the Nestorians managed to peace out. I do believe, well, they didn't lose anything. Alright, so it's status quo. They didn't actually gain anything in their war, but at least they held what they were given by the Kharijites, so that's good for them. The Copts managed to defeat their rebels, and at least they have a somewhat intact country still, so that's good for them. The Mazdaki, holy shit, they have just been granted tons of provinces by the Bogomilists. Wow. So they didn't take anything themselves, except, no, that's not true. They took 2 provinces themselves, although, actually, you know what? Yeah, they must have just taken them. Really? I'm kind of surprised the Zoroastrians helped this, but yeah, okay. So they took 2 provinces themselves, and then they gave tons of lands to the Mazdaki. Wow. Could I click on this, please? Yeah, there we are. So 3 provinces here, and then obviously I think a little bit more as well. That was previously Mazdaki core, but they still have many more cores they could retake. Still, that is a major setback for the Zoroastrians. And as I said, it was a really bad idea to declare this war in the first place. Now the Iconoclasts have been fully besieged. Oh, that was by the Zoroastrians. I see. Okay, so what's going on right now? The Lollards are winning the war against the Cathar. No, the Cathars are winning the war. Yes, the Lollards are winning against the Norse. And they're also winning against the Inti fetishes. So as I said, the Cathars are simply going to win because of their occupations, but no one will actually take their capital. The Hindu are still at war with the Copts for whatever reason, and but the Hindu are also having to defend against the Sikh and Mahayana. Now I feel like I've missed a war. So we know the Cathars, they defeated the Papal State. That was a war they declared a few episodes ago, I think. So that's just the status update right there. And I think the Zikri, I should also mention that, they defeated the Tengri also maybe 2 episodes ago and took a few lands. They still have a core that they have not taken back, but at least they have grown stronger, so that's good for them. Yes. So, what do we have left? We see that Lollard East Africa is under siege by the Cathars, interestingly enough. Not the fetishes this time. And what was the war? That seems to be a war that we have missed. Now, I guess we should also check out what happened between the Inti and Venezuela. So the Inti did win, but I think they only managed to grab like 3 provinces. Or maybe 4. It's hard to tell, but they had some of these provinces already. Yeah, quite likely. So they definitely had, I think they had these for sure. Not entirely sure how many, but yeah, that's okay. They took a decent amount of provinces, so that's good for them. The Cathar La Plata cut off the Norse La Plata, so this is all they're going to colonize. Brazil sealed up the border here, Cathar Brazil, and Protestant Brazil cut off their Protestant former overlord, and now they are racing to get the last provinces, but the Inti are colonizing as well, and so are the Totemists. Well, no longer. Totemists are no longer colonizing. So they're allied to the Inti, the Mayans, and the Norse. Okay, pretty interesting to see that, but they're not currently in a war. However, you still are against the Lollards. Alright, well, let's have a quick look at what's going on. The Zikri declared war on the Confucians. We'll check that in a second. And we'll have a look at India, because that is probably the most interesting in terms of wars or in terms of battles. 70,000 Hindu forces, about 90,000 Hindu forces, against what, 90, 100, yeah, okay. So about 150,000, well, Sikh forces, Sikh Theravada forces, of course. And of course the Mahayana are doing some shenanigans as well. So the Zikri have 70,000 men, is that it? They have another 40,000 there, another 15 there, and the Confucians have 70, so the Confucians have 70,000, and the Zikri have a bit more than that. If they're smart, they should win this war. It shouldn't be too difficult for them actually, but we shall see how they do. They might still mess up. We've seen that before, that some nations mess up. The Shia actually managed to take this one province from the Vajrayana, so I suppose their war was technically successful, but obviously it was not worth all too much in the end. Alright, so let's check this out. So yeah, the Cathars continued to lose war score, but now the war score from the war goal is capped at -25, so they're gonna be taking some provinces for 18% war score. That's fine. That's not too shabby. But the rest of these guys, they're gonna have to give in to the Lollards because they simply cannot make it onto the mainland. Well, that's the way it is. That's how the British fight. All right. So, but you know what? The Cathars, you gotta do something about these rebels, because they're taking away your precious war score. Should really do something about this. Most definitely. Alright, in the meantime, while you're fighting this war, you continue to colonize here. That's nice. The Catholics are really doing a good job of colonizing Africa here. Getting rid of all of the uncolonized Sunni provinces. They might even, you know, border the papal states here. That would be kind of nice to see. Catholicism of all regions is in this, well, and of course in the Caribbean. That would be actually kind of fun. Alright, so other than that, we saw the Paulicians being defeated, and now everything has been converted. So there is that. And the Suomenusko pushing in against the Iconoclast. So the Slavs might actually take over quite a few provinces. They don't have any cores, but they could grow very powerful if they were to take over some of these lands. Very possible. And Suomenusko might even get a share as well. They certainly deserve it, I would say. Okay, let's once again check this out. We have 30% war score. Brunei declaring war on Thessalians. I'm not even going to watch that because, yeah, who really cares? And, oh, something I didn't notice before, but the Waldensians apparently joined that war against the Lollards. I'm not sure if they've really, if they were in this from the very beginning. It's possible, you know, don't get me wrong, but, that's actually interesting. So that explains, no, they have been in there before, or since the beginning, I should say. Yeah, most definitely, because these lands, are actually held by the Waldensians. They have cores here. At least they have a core in this one. But if they are not careful, this is going to get taken over as well. You should maybe deal with these rebels. This province has now actually been taken over by the Norse. Okay, interesting. We really need a peace here. We need a peace here. I don't know what the Cathars are waiting for. You're only going to lose the longer you stay in this. You're not going to get any taking war score. There's no chance of that happening. Okay, so the Kharijites, you are now allied to the Reformed. Okay, it's been a long time that you've been isolated, not allied to a single nation, but now you have reached out and found a partner in the Reformed. Now that will most likely call you into a war against the Totemists, who have stopped piling all of their forces into one province. It really looked as if they wanted to go to war with the Reformed, but for some reason they decided not to do it. I'm also waiting for the truce to run out here. It has run out, in fact, but the Mayans are not keen on taking over the rest of their provinces. Interesting. Okay, I thought they would go after them immediately, but so far they're waiting for something. I don't know exactly what it is, but we might never find out. Alright, so now all of South America has been colonized except for this one province that will probably get taken over by the Cathars. At least it would probably look the nicest. If Cathar Brazil was to take this, I would be happy. So we can have a look at the religions in South America. We see the Inti, obviously the dominant religion, but that's obviously the nation that started out here, so they should be dominant. The Catholics have a pretty big presence here with Venezuela and Colombia. We have the Totemists here represented, the Protestants with the Protestant faith, the original one, and Protestant Brazil, which is now independent. We have the Cathars with Cathar Brazil and Cathar La Plata, and we also have Norse La Plata down here. So overall, looking pretty nice. And we have one animist province, but that will get taken over soon. In Middle America or Central America and the Caribbean, well, the Caribbean is 100% Catholic, and Central America is of course dominated by the Nahuatl. We also have Lollard Colombia down here, and the Mayans, who have the potential to retake a lot of their lands here. We have not really fully used that potential yet, but there's still, you know, a good 20 years left, so they can always go for some more of their cause. North America, we obviously have the Totemists, who are quite prevalent, and of course the Mayans are in here as well. We have Shinto, who are, present with Alaska and Shinto, California. We have the Hindu, who have actually taken it upon themselves to take these lands from the Copts. So I wonder, have they also taken Australia? I would like to know. No. So they the Hindu have decided to take the Coptic provinces up here. Okay, that's good for them. Venetians hold the province, and the Jains do as well, but they are, you know, to be disregarded. The Reformed are still colonizing quite a lot of lands here, and since the Totemists do not claim it, they will they will probably just take it all over, it seems like. So Nova Hollandia and the New Reformed Faith, they have been beaten by the Totemists, but they are still very much present here, and they could always take it back. It's possible. Catholic Louisiana has a single province, and Protestant Canada is, is a decently sized country, but they only have about 40,000 men. We also have Vinland, Norse Vinland, under control of the North Faith, but they don't look all too powerful, especially because they are not consolidated. So that's always not too good. The Reformed decided to colonize Greenland. That's good. That has been uncolonized for a long time, so that's good to see. Europe, pretty much everything has been colonized. Cathars in Iberia and southern France, Waldensians in, well, parts of Germany and Switzerland, Fraticelli in basically Austria, huge parts of Germany, Bohemia, and all the way up to the Baltic. From the Balkan to the Baltic, that's where they are. Norse, obviously, in Scandinavia, but we also have the Protestants and Reformed represented here, and the Lollards in parts of modern-day Denmark, as well as Pomerania. So Europe is still relatively interesting when it comes to religions. Not clear borders like we have. We don't have these clear borders like we have in South America. Also, of course, the Slavs are in between, but it's hard to tell because the Fraticelli are so dominant. The Bogomilists have a strong grip here over, Greece and Bulgaria, sort of Serbia region, and up into Hungary and Romania. The Iconoclasts have the control over Anatolia and Thrace, and of course a lot of the Crimean region, but that may not last because, wow, yeah, they had to give up tons of lands to the Slavs. Wow, that's actually quite a few provinces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 provinces they had to give up, and one to the Suomenusko. And of course, the Hurufi actually managed to, I'm not sure what they did to combine their lands. Did they get that? You know what? I think they must have gotten some of this from the Iconoclasts in the peace deal by the Suomenusko. So, yeah, they managed to win the war against the Monophysites, and they gained some extra provinces. So they have actually, well, they have recovered quite well. I'm surprised. So that's good for them. The Middle East is still quite messy, but not as much as it used to be, with the Monophysites cleaning up a few of these provinces. The Jews are now free again, and they are reconverting their provinces. The Sunni are a strong regional power here, especially with a lot of the nations that they have turned. So they also have a strong grip over the over Indonesia here. Now, we saw a peace between the Sikh and Hindu, and yeah, so they took quite a lot of provinces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 provinces. That's pretty clear. They have exerted their dominance, so they now control most of northern India. The Hindu are still a powerful nation, and they look very compact, which is obviously very good. They also had to give up one province to the Mahayana. I would have wished that they had to give up both, but it's okay. The Confucians have been utterly defeated. Well, by whom, actually? They are at war with the Zikri, but someone else must have declared a war on them. The Tengri, perhaps? Yeah, the Tengri did declare a war, and they finished it faster than the Zikri. They took a bunch of land, really a whole lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they made them spit out some provinces, or give back some provinces to the Vajrayana for whatever reason. Alright, so I guess we should have a quick look at this. The Shinto have declared another war on the Zoroastrians. Alright, that was to be expected. The Fetishist and Norse are at war with the Fraticelli. Ooh, and the Inti are back at war with Venezuela. Alright. So the Fraticelli, deprived of all of their friends, no allies, they now stand alone against the Norse. Now, but then again, the Norse stand alone against the Fraticelli, so I'm not sure if that is really better. 45 Fraticelli are here in an island. They have 62,000 men back behind. They have 90,000 men in reserve, and they have 50,000 men that are currently getting crushed. Their lands are being besieged. So it looks as though the Fraticelli are losing this. We also saw a big peace deal here. The Cathars took huge amounts of lands from the Lollards. Wow, that's insane. That's insane, and it looks as though the Waldensians even got one of their provinces back. Very nice. I think we're going to see a collapse of the Fraticelli because the Cathars are getting ready, together with the Waldensians, to declare another war, and there's many provinces to be given back. So, yeah, we shall see how that turns out, but not in today's episode. Thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you guys next time.